Thank you very much, and I would like also, I did it personally, but also publicly, give a word of thanks to the Premier Soccer League for I just received this week the award for Coach of the Year from last year. It's a very beautiful award that is already in a special place in my home here in South Africa. So thank you very much for the recognition and for the possibility of allowing me to show the work here in the country. Well, regarding the match on Saturday, it's interesting to play such important matches in such an early part of the season. This MTN 8 Cup brings exactly high-level matches in the moment that the teams are still developing and growing and installing themselves on setting up for the season ahead. So obviously it's important to hit the ground running and arrive on those kind of matches in the best condition and best tactical adaptation as possible. We didn't change the coach, but something changed also in the moment in the club or in the team. So we are also trying to grow and adapt to exactly the moment we're living. I think that we've been doing it quite well. But these kind of matches always have a special story that is going to be written and somehow after is going to be told by you. That has to do more with the movement that exactly comes from the game rather than from what happened before. It's a match that when the first whistle is blown, there's a story that is going to happen, and the players just forget whatever is behind and they just focus on the game. It's a match that is important to be dealt properly in terms of emotions, in terms of focusing on the right emotions that you have to live in order to produce a performance that to a result. Obviously that as best or as better result you can get, the best you will get position for the second leg or the second match, second half. So it's with that intention that we go to London Stadium to play the first one, exactly to try to make a result that allows us and to be able to finalize the semi-final in the way we want, is to go into the final.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take the first question. If the mic is available, let's go and see who that is, but let's just go behind you, Lule. Oh, Sia. Yes.
Coach,
Just
Sia from Coffee Sports. And Coach, almost Mamelodi Sundowns always is a team that wants to win every game. You are a winning coach yourself. Coach, would a draw at FNB Stadium be a not happy but a satisfactory result for you?
Maybe not FNB, London. Yeah. No, just kidding. I think the coach got the gist of your question.
Yeah, for sure. Whatever result we'll have to deal with in the second half. If in the second half or the second match we can go through, we'll take the first one. But we can never say that a draw is good or is not a good result before we play the match and we see what kind of performance we do. So we can finish a game with the sensation that a draw is a good result or a fair result that we have to accept. But also we can finish a game and feel that we should have taken something more than a draw. So that's our approach, is arrive on the match, understand the moments that the match will have. For sure the match will have different moments that we have to manage. And it's up to us to keep that stability throughout those moments so that in the end we can have a positive result. But that result expresses a good performance. That's what we want to do. That's our focus, to arrive on Orlando Stadium playing against a very strong team. But also show that we are on the level and we can outplay them or get a result that allows us obviously to proceed. We respect very much all the opponents in South Africa when we play matches. But the respect we need to have for the opponents is the respect we also want from ourselves and for ourselves. And we need to play matches with the intention to get results, positive results. That obviously allows us to arrive on the last stages of the competitions. In this case, is a knockout stage to arrive on the final and be able to play that match that can give the trophy, of course.
Coach, you're the coach in South Africa. Coach, is this the best or the worst time to play against Orlando Pirates? Look at the two losses, maybe one can say the confidence, morale might be down, but also when you look at what they are able to produce in this competition particularly, as well as also rising to the occasion in cup competitions against Sundowns as well. Is that something that you're wary of, even though they're in a slump? How do you look at, this fixture against Orlando Pirates, best or worst, gift or curse?
Yeah, I understand your question. It's not really something I relate with regarding the past. I never look at the past. I just want to write the future and live the present in order to write the future, let's say. I was not even here in South Africa when Cups teams. It's the first time we're going to play each other on a Cup match. And I believe that, as I said, that's why I stated before what I did, that this kind of matches is first whistle puts us in another dimension. And the team that may be better or worse or the same level in the match before has nothing to do with matches. It's a story that is completely different. There's a lot of emotionality behind, there's a lot of ambience around, there's a lot of players that on these matches they show themselves in levels that before they were not there. So I think what is important is that the team that wants to get a result must on these matches really show that a different standard and go to the best as possible as they can do. That's what I hope we're gonna do in these two matches. We need not to play one but two very competitive with the intentionality to be very competitive so that we can win more duels, we can have more ball, we can find the right spaces to play, we can aggress the opponent, we can cope with the aggressions that we're going to suffer for sure, because the game, as I said before, will have different moments. And then the level of awareness to prevent suffering goals, and the level of awareness that allows us to, in the right moments, also to make ours. It will be for sure two very beautiful games with a lot of emotions, emotionality to deal. I hope we all, and people around, and players, and the coaches, and the management, and everybody, and the referees also live the right emotions that must be lived in this kind of games, so that we give South Africa two fantastic football games.
Lorenz?
Coach Ranger from Modesty Times. Are you aware that obviously...
So sorry, Lorenz, we just have someone at the back there. Can we keep it down, please? Thank you.
Obviously you're going to analyze the team, but I'm sure you...
We are always prepared and never prepared. Let me try to explain with this. We always try to predict everything that might happen in a match. I'm a very blue guy, and a blue guy is a guy that wants to control everything as much as possible before the game happens, and wants to give the team that sensation that whatever happens, we are in control. But there's always things that the teams bring inside the pitch, and those things most of the time they don't even come from the coaches, come from the players themselves, and those things we don't control, and those things most of the times are much more difficult to cope with rather than the plans of the coaches. That's why I always speak that on these moments the players must excel themselves and put on the pitch the best they have, and that you don't control. No coach can control that. We try to install the right emotional connections between the players so that they can perform, but then they do things that we cannot control. So I expect Orlando Pirates is a team that is under development. Sundowns is a team that is under development. Despite it looks not, it's exactly like that, because the losses that we have in the squad in the moment, considering last year, had a lot of impact in the way we used to play. So the team is adapting to new realities. It doesn't look like, but it's exactly like that. Sometimes it's more difficult to cope with losses of players that are so important in the teams, rather than when you keep the teams and change the coach. But I think the team is growing over that, exactly. So also we are finding ourselves in terms of how we're going to be in 2 months. So I think the game will bring eventually in the end different ideas about how the teams are and what they are able to express. So I will try to prepare as much as possible the players for the context that we're going to face, but I count on surprises that come mostly from the capacity of the players from Orlando and Sundowns to give things on the game that we just enjoy, we don't control.
Right, let's move on to 𝐶EPANG.
Coach 𝐶EPANG from Sakalanduma. I want to ask you about Letlhaku. Where's his head at the moment? There's obviously been talk of interest overseas. He started the other day, maybe didn't look the same as he did when he came on as a substitute in the, I think, previous 2 games. So where's his headspace at the moment? And I also want to ask you about Esquivel. Looks like he's going to leave. Why has he not been able to break into the team at Sundowns?
Look, I don't like to personalize a lot, but it's interesting because here in South Africa I speak much more individually about players rather than in any of my other clubs before. And I do it because I don't read, but someone updates me from my staff, of course, on what is in general being said in the press about players and the situation of the team. It's obvious that we have to relate with that. And I would like to make it clear one thing. It's important that you understand. It's not 𝐭𝐻𝐻, Letlhaku or Mabena that are going to make Sundowns win the Champions League in the moment. It's not those players that will make us champions in the end of the season. It's important that everybody understands that Mabena didn't play for 1 year. 1 year. And you cannot expect that now he'll be the best on the pitch and get the man of the match every day, because he will not. And the coach will not give him that opportunity, because he is not on the moment to have 90 minutes even on the legs. He's a player that is still very dangerous regarding his injury on the knee, to put him even 90 minutes to play. 𝐭𝐻𝐻 last year, he had I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 appearances on the first team of Sundowns. No one should expect now that 𝐭𝐻𝐻 has to carry Mamelodi Sundowns, because he will not be able to do it. What we have to expect is that the coach will work very hard with them, and not only them, with Tapelo Maseko, with all the youngsters that are already in the team, with Tatu, with Ben Kekana, but the coach will work very hard to make them better players. And the head of those players, they are on the work. Yesterday we had a friendly training match, and today we trained with those players, and they work 100% committed with the training sessions and what we did. Those players are very important players for the future of Mamelodi Sundowns. And me as a coach, I have to take care of their future. And their future is expose them gradually to the competition in the level that they deserve, they train for, and managing the moments for that. And as you saw, Mabena played already twice this season, 𝐭𝐻𝐻 played twice this season, and they will get more chances for sure. But we should, and people around, and the fans, and yourselves, should understand that throwing youngsters on the fire is not the best way to make them become top players. We need to be careful in how we do it, find the right moments to do it. It was so easy to put 𝐭𝐻𝐻 and Mabena to play Richards Bay when we were winning 3-0 or 3-0. So easy, because the game was open, there were lots of spaces everywhere. Everybody could accept a mistake and the loss of the ball without any problems, because the team would even support. You saw how myself I ran to Mabena to salute him on the moment he scored the goal. But I am the same that gives a hug, a kiss, a word of excitement, but also here on the head, so that, hey, it's not that way when things are not exactly how they should be. So that's how you develop young players, is teaching them, helping them, making them strong. And I'm gonna share you one thing. Yesterday, 𝐭𝐡𝐢𝐬 sent me a message. Coach, thank you very much for everything you are doing for me. Because we are giving them love. And that's how you develop youngsters. Giving them opportunities, showing them when they make mistakes, showing them the good things, and strongly work with them every day. Today I stopped the training session and I spoke to Mabena and to 𝐭𝐡𝐢𝐬. And we have more 7 or 8 youngsters from this key team today with us. And I said, hey guys, don't lose the ball like this. Because I don't want to have 80% of all possession like we had against in the last match, 𝐂𝐴𝐻𝐿, but take 20 counterattacks. I don't want that. We need to have 80% of all possession, or 70 or 65 or whatever, but don't lose the ball, so that we don't expose the team. So there's always criteria for development of young players, and it's our job to do it. Finish the opportunities, show them the things, make them grow, go back on training. Sometimes they will stay out, sometimes they will go in. Sometimes when no one expects it, they will play. Probably no one was expecting 𝐭𝐡𝐢𝐬 to be a first 11 on the last match, and he was. And it was not because he was playing bad or good. He was not worse than anyone on the pitch on the first half. I just needed to change something, and he was sacrificed, but not because he was worse than anyone. But this is what people should expect, that we are aware, attention, we give them a lot of work, we try to develop them so much, we believe on them so much, but we will also find a way to make them help the team, because our project for them is that they become important for many years in Sundowns, and not just for a couple of months, and then people start to say, they are not good because they make mistakes. Because they do make mistakes. They still don't understand what we want every moment from the team. They don't. But I don't expect them to do. I expect them in 6 months to understand everything. So that when then they will play 90 minutes, the fluidity of the game will become, and obviously when the games are with positive results, it's more easy to put the boys to play, because no one will charge a mistake. That's it.
Thank you, Coach. We are now wrapping up. We'll go to 𝐩𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐬. Oh, there was a second part of the question, which was about. I think the coach did touch the one. Okay, but okay.
I can speak about Matthias. Is not a problem. Matthias is a player that came to Sundowns not with me, but with Mr. Rulani Mokoena. So if he didn't have chances and he didn't succeed, pressure on me regarding Matthias Esquivel. But Matthias is a very good player. Matthias is a very good player. And you will see that he will succeed where he will go. Sometimes the contexts that we create, because also I didn't give him many opportunities. It was not only Coach Rulani, me also. So me and him, we are seated not in the same chair, but side by side on the question of Matthias. Because indeed, we didn't give him many chances. But probably by different reasons, because I don't know what happened before, Matthias eventually also didn't work or persevere or was constant on telling me, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play. And that is said by training hard, better than the other ones. Because you need to understand that a player to play must show on the training session on the same position. For example, let's think about Maseko. Maseko is a player that can play mostly on the left, wide open, or more inside on the right. He can also play as a number 9 because he's very accurate going on the spaces. He's a good finisher. On the left, we have Mabena and so when Tapelo doesn't go inside on the left, it's because there's Mabena that eventually he's getting chances, and also 𝐭𝐻𝐻𝐿 is playing. On the right, we can think the same way. He don't play on the right. If he don't play, it's because there's there Arthur, before there was Lucas Ribeiro, and there's also 𝐂𝐻𝐬𝐬 Letlhaku. And in the front, he's not playing because there's 𝐂𝐻𝐬𝐬 Reiners and 𝐵𝐵𝐻𝐻𝐿. So when people ask, put this one, and when a player asks, put me to play, he should understand that he's saying, I'm better than the ones also that are on these places. But he's not saying, he's showing that makes him play. And sometimes the player needs to state that not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 10 times. Because when I arrived in the club, I confess to you, I saw Sales and I said, he's not working hard for me to give confidence to play. And I know how the club invested on him, how people inside the club believed on him. And I saying, but he's not showing me that he wants. But he started showing. He started entering the matches and bam, assist, goal, training better. And there's a moment you say, sorry, this guy is entering on my eyes. He's showing myself that I have to give him opportunities. And then they need to take, of course, the opportunities in hands and make something out of those opportunities. And it's so difficult in Sundowns. And I remember last press conference, you asked me why you want to reduce a little bit the squad. Exactly because of that, because I don't want the players to not really have chances to fight for objectives that they believe so much. Because I respect so much the players that don't play. Believe me, I respect more the players that don't play than the ones that play. Because those ones, they arrive home and they want to give love to their families and they are sad, they are not happy. People, they arrive home and the kids ask, Papa, why you don't play? Why you are here not in the hotel? Why tomorrow we're going to see the match from the stands and you are not there? And this is not beautiful. It's for a coach, it's very hard to know this. And look, Matthias suffered a lot here. Matthias Esquivel suffered a lot in this club. And there's a moment where we, as human beings, we need to understand that the context is already not the context for him to be here. Despite he's a quality player, no one should have doubt on that, because he is. But because of what happened before with Coach Rulani, that he didn't play, and now he came in December, we had expectations that he could play, but the other ones became better than him and gave him no chances, like I gave him no chances. Because there were others to whom I gave the chances and to show that they were better than him. And he's suffering, he was suffering. His family was suffering. His wife didn't want to come back now on summer. His kids didn't want to come back. So what we can say to a human being that is under those circumstances, rather than, okay, but the club invested on you, let's try to find a solution where we don't lose money and make you be happy. Because sometimes the players are in one context where they already cannot perform. But then suddenly they change and they go. And I believe that will happen with Matthias. Because not only is he a wonderful boy, but he's also a quality player. But sometimes it's like that.
All right, in the interest of time, I'm going to just take 𝐩𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐬 because he already has the mic. Otherwise, I was going to wrap up. I'm really sorry. I know there's still lots of hands, but we are working on time here.
Coach, Sundowns does not have the best of records in knockout competition, especially when compared to the dominance in the league. What is the challenge in that, and what is it that you're doing to change that picture?
Whom? Sorry, I didn't understand the beginning, just the beginning.
Sundowns does not have the best record in knockout competitions, especially when compared to the dominance in the league. So what is the cause of that, and what is it that you're doing to try and change that picture?
I said before, basically, your question I answered already. I understand very well the question, but it's not really something I relate with. It's very interesting because yesterday, I even made a post. If you go to my Instagram today, I made a post on the Instagram. I can even open it now. No, really, you can see here. Because last season on the Champions League, we knock out the two finalists from the competition. Last season, in the Champions League, Mamelodi Sundowns knocked out both finalists from the previous season. Curiously, one of them was me. So, since I arrived in Sundowns, I cannot really speak about that. And I don't want to remember no one about what happened in the semi-final of the Nedbank Cup last year. I don't want to remember. So, let's see. Let the best win, and I hope the best will be Mamelodi Sundowns. That's what I expect.
All right, thank you very much for everybody here.